the battle in war-torn Gaza to bring children back to their homes. The children of the Masri family have endured terrible occurrences, but now they are grinning as they play together in the sand at the al-Mawasi tent camp in southern Gaza. Their lives were in danger. They were exposed to so much killing and destruction, their grandma, Kawther al-Masri, adds. The parents of 1-year-old Jamal, as well as the mother and 2 younger sisters of his cousins Maria, Jana, and Zaina, who were between the ages of 2 and 9, were killed in an Israeli attack that occurred 6 weeks ago at their home in the northern town of Beit Lahia. Over a year ago, Israeli forces arrested the father of the girls. The kids were hurt and abandoned when they were rescued from the wreckage. Over 14,500 children have reportedly died. Many more have been injured, and an estimated 17,000 have been left unaccompanied or separated from the family members who would typically care for kids since the conflict in Gaza began. Some are unidentified because they are too young to remember their names. UNICEF, the UN's children's agency, has only been able to reconnect 63 children with their parents or guardians in a chaotic situation that includes explosions and mass displacement. The 4 Masri cousins' tale was covered by the word medias last month. The happiness of their return is indescribable, but it's overshadowed with sadness. They came back without their parents, said Kawther al-Masri to us. In the middle of November, Kawther first learned that everyone she knew who had stayed at the family's home in northern Gaza had been slain. However, following her prayer, she claims to have received news that 3 of her grandchildren were still alive. She realized right away she needed to bring them to her. "I longed for them," she says. "Honestly, I wished I could go to the north and fetch them, but God's will is above everything." Israel has separated the northern third of the Gaza Strip from the southern 2/3 along the Wadi Gaza Valley border for more than a year. Crossing the Israeli military zone that divides the region requires specific coordination on the part of humanitarian workers. UNICEF conducted its own welfare inspections and undertook a time-consuming procedure to make arrangements for the relocation of the Masri children once Kawther gathered the necessary paperwork. The 4 grieving cousins had been cared for by distant relatives while they received medical treatment. Before taking the kids away in armored cars, UNICEF captured their tearful farewell on camera. As the battle continues, driving the short distance from Gaza City to Deir al-Balah, where the convoy was going, now requires passing an Israeli checkpoint, which may be extremely dangerous and time-consuming. However, according to UNICEF, reunifying children is a top priority. The challenges are multiple, UNICEF spokeswoman Rosalia Balin adds. But we're talking here about highly vulnerable children. These are tales of loss, severe physical and mental suffering, and the recovery of these kids. It is crucial that they have been reunited with one or both of their parents or a family member. On the day the children were supposed to come, Kawther recounts an excruciating wait until UNICEF finally called. It had been 14 months since she last saw her grandchildren. She exclaims, "I didn't know who to hug first. Jana and Zaina were the first people I gave a hug to. I gave her a hug and a kiss. Zaina was unable to talk the last time I saw her, but she was aware that I was known by the nickname Coco, which my son's kids used to call me. She asked repeatedly, 'Are you Coco? I came here for you, right?' I told her that I was. She felt secure." The Masri family's tale is not unique. In the early days of the battle, they were divided. A week after the Hamas attack in southern Israel on October 7, 2023, which killed almost 1,200 people, the Israeli military issued an order for 1.1 million Palestinians in northern Gaza to go south, indicating that it intended to launch a land invasion. Transportation for her 2 sons, Ramadan and Hamza, failed, but Kawther and the majority of her children swiftly packed up and relocated to Rafah. They ultimately chose to remain behind with their young children and spouses, one of whom was pregnant. Israeli troops detained Hamza in Beit Lahia in November 2023. He and his immediate family members maintain that they are farmers without any political affiliations. The Israeli authorities have not been able to provide the information with us regarding Hamza's fate. Thousands of Gazans have been detained by Israel during the conflict on suspicion of terrorism. Kawther tells us, "This has been our fate," in a dejected manner. "We lost our homes, our land, and our loved ones, and we were divided between the North and the South. Many look to the International Committee of the Red Cross, ICRC, for assistance because there are so many missing persons. Only roughly 2,100 of the more than 8,300 cases that have been reported to the organization have been closed. Only a tiny percentage of these have resulted in familial reunions. People are in limbo. They don't know whether their family member is alive, whether they are injured or in hospital, whether they are trapped under rubble, or whether they will see them again, explains Sarah Davies of the ICRC. In an effort to help their patients connect with loved ones, hospital personnel and doctors also contribute. A newborn infant who had been delivered via cesarean section after her mother was killed in an Israeli airstrike was seen on camera by the medias over a year ago. Medical professionals referred to the young child as the daughter of Hannah Abu Amsha and stored information about her in the hopes that her family would be able to locate her. The infant was eventually given to her father and was doing well, according to the nursery at Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital in Deir al-Balah. A BBC local journalist met Kawther and her grandkids in the al-Mawasi displaced people's camp, where they currently reside in a tent, a few days after the reunion of the Masri family. UNICEF had provided them with assistance to obtain additional food and medication because aid was scarce. Additionally, the girls wore woolen coats, which provided some protection from the frigid temperatures that have caused other infants to succumb to hypothermia, notably at the coastal camp near Khan Yunis. Kawther feels relieved to have the kids with her, but she still worries about their safety. She is concerned about their mental health and how to care for them. Her words, "They are in shock. No matter how much we try to distract the girls and avoid talking of the war, every now and then they wander off in thought. They get scared when darkness falls. There's a plane, there's a strike," they say. "Is it dawn yet?" they ask me, and they don't feel reassured until morning arrives. According to Kawther, she fervently aspires for a ceasefire and the reconstruction of her grandchildren's life, not to join a generation that has been lost.